Beautiful cat, by the way, ladies.
Give me a second.
I have a cat too, so that's, you know. Beautiful cat, by the way, ladies.
Give me a second.
Yeah, my cat's right over here. I have
Thank
a cat
you. This
too,
is Georgie,
so
the girl. You got a twin brother, Maddie.
Oh.
But he doesn't really care about computers. She does.
Okay, and we are on. And go ahead, Christian.
Hey guys, welcome everybody. My name is Christian Zaldivar. As you may or may not already know, one of our friends here on our YouTube community, Jay Frankie, aka techmove, passed away tragically on the 22nd of August, 2018. And we decided to get together tonight in honor of Jay's memory and do a little memorial for him. Joining me here are members of Jay's family. You have Jill, you have Ira, you have the two Nancys, Lee, and Iban is here as well. What we're gonna do tonight, guys, we're gonna play a video first off of a collage, if you will, of some of Jay's finest moments, greatest hits here with us, to help us remember him. And then once the video collage is over, I'm gonna open it up to everybody to pay their respects, to speak as long as you want, you know, just, you know, just please let everybody finish their piece and then we'll move on. I'll probably be the last person here to speak on behalf of Jay, and I'll be on for as long as people want to come on and pay their respects. So without further delay, Iban, if you want to start the video collage, you can now, and we'll see you guys a little later.
All right, tech moves on. Holy smokes. Is it really that hot? You got that's a lot of hair there. How's it going, tech move? Can you hear us? Hello? Can you say something? In chat saying, hey, why this? Hey, tech move.
Hey, techmove.
Haven't seen you in a while. Do you want to test your mic? Can you hear us? All right, I think I don't know. All right.
So yeah, I'll just so.
Oh no, that's fine. Actually, I knew. Yeah, I knew your fan was.
Hey,
Hi, techmove.
So does anyone want to host it?
She was doing this the whole time.
Well, you do the same thing, James.
That's true, but I do it like this.
Yeah, James breathes a lot. But Dominic does do that.
I'm good.
Dominic's doing it all the time.
What's that? Comb my hair?
Yeah,
Whipping your hair back and forth.
you're beautifying, man. You're beautifying. But does it come down to, and I could be real vulgar and real derogatory about Amazon. I'm not a big Amazon fan.
Go for it, man.
Is it convenience?
Yes.
The matter of convenience, more than I think.
Yeah, it's just us being lazy.
Right. You know, it's like I'm sitting here, at least tonight anyway. I've got my sweats on. You know, it's getting a little colder up here now that it's, you know.
Okay, what color? What color are your sweats?
James, really. Nobody wants to know, man.
Hold on, let me get the music out.
I spilled hot dogs on a list.
Is it just the bottoms or just the tops?
really, guys, no inquiring mind would ever want to know.
Get out your credit card, James. Sounds like you're asking for some kind of a show.
Wait, you're gonna hear that little ching sound.
Oh my God!
What are you wearing?
Ching 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 ching.
Well, then it'll all be predicated right on your bottom line, and if you're in the monopoly-esque, the percentage of, not even a percentage, I guess it would just be, I can't think of the word that would indicate, you've got enough money, you're a telecom, you're one of these behemoths,
Right.
You're in that category of monopolistic capitalist practices that you're willing and not willing, but you're able to compete at that level. And that's not what we need right now, because that centralizes all the money again. You know, all of the 40, 50, 60 years that we've been living, you know, or moving towards, you know, these austerity economics that we've all had to live under. We need to promote, you know, the diversification and more people having money in order to. We've already proved it. There's been so many studies and whatnot. I mean, the country, we've turned it into a consumerist society, and with consumers in your society, everyone benefits. Maybe not to the concentrated levels of money and power that we have now.
Right.
If we decentralize some of that and gave just even a portion of that money, you know, or in my wildest dreams, all that money back to we the people, the culture and the economy would flourish. James, I want the list.
Oh, I'll send you the list. You know, whoever wants you, just go after them. We'll send the invites. I think all of us, whoever can, just send the. I'll just send it out there to send the invites.
I did a little bit of work today on that and found some people in Oregon. I've got at least 2 now. I put out a notice on Facebook to the one guy today. I'll see if he gets back to me. And the gal, I'm still researching the gal. So she's one of their national fundraisers, the Green Party's national fundraisers. She lives here in Oregon, so I will be contacting her next. The nihilism has continued. It's gotten worse. When I think of nihilism, and I'm not a big expert on this guy, but I know he wrote a lot about it, was Albert Camus. Mm-hmm. And the nihilism has really continued to the point now where everybody is so beaten down. The young baby boomer generation, when I look back at the 1970s and whatnot, you know, the offshoot of the 60s, you know, the hope and the dreams and everything was still there, you know, to change society for the better. It's through hook and crook and these ideas. You know, Ayn Rand had a lot to do with it as well. You know, Dominic was talking about Reagan, and God, you know, the sanctification that Ayn Rand somehow, you know, came up with to back the economic ideas of, hey, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and, you know, the American dream is there and ready for you. The machinations and whatnot that went on, you know, behind the scenes to get these people. I can remember, man, it was probably 10, 15 years ago when they did away with Congress, the Senate, the House. They had like there was the information that came out about the way that they did their financial investing. They had news ahead of time, like from Wall Street and whatnot. And they did away with that so that, you know, there were various inquiries and, you know, investigations done to where some of these, you know, and they all go into government now and they get rich. They got the revolving door between industry and government. You know, that's all well understood and whatnot. But these guys were getting their information ahead of time from Wall Street. That's where probably some of these Wall Street tentacles and information were right. They were developed, but they were unethically taking advantage of that information. They were, the stock market is a rigged game anyway. But our government leaders, our officials that are supposed to understand, hey, there's a separation here between Congress and, and the administration. There's separations here that, the founding fathers put into place so that, we could maintain some kind of a civil society. When they decided that they were just going to play Wall Street for whatever purpose, was at their behest, again, us baby boomers, we're taking that because these octogenarians that now seem to all be in Congress, we can't even get rid of their ass.
It's crazy the effect that Ayn Rand had ended up having on America.
Wow. I go, okay, mahalo.
This is not good news, hon.
I know. Fuck, man. Shit.
They'll release them in a word jumble, dude. They'll put them in they'll put all the names together.
They're going to put all the
in
names
a box.
like Willie Smith and Bob Reyes and act like in a perspective, it's fuck.
Yep, it's like a word search.
It's like this huge data dump. There's no direction. There's no context, and it's like, okay, here you are. Here's your data. Go out and research it all again. So everybody, instead of having any kind of a coordinated effort, we've got everybody trying to get up to speed on a whole bunch more data. That if somebody already structurally was taking that information and whatnot and putting it into some kind of context so that we could focus on getting them elected.
Yes.
Elected.
Or getting themselves elected.
Okay, all this stuff is going to be done by January 6th. And after January 6th, we're going to completely focus on fundraising and getting the word out. No. There's nothing preparation.
This is nothing against Hillary Kane. I was trying to say Hillary fast. So
my cousin had a spelling test where she failed because she spelled back BACK. And the actual word was BIKE. So it's like there's a little bit of a disconnect there, but it's adorable the way that they talk. I love it.
Of course. Seriously, he's the biggest slime ball, tremendous slime ball I've ever seen, and I can guarantee you that you can take that to the bank. Trust me, believe me, I assure you. I wouldn't lie to you. Jamal, would I lie to him? No, you wouldn't. Yes,
I mean, seriously, you have a lot of good impressions. I love your Matthew McConaughey. Your Arnold Schwarzenegger is spot on. But damn, that Trump impersonation, like you do the face and everything, just to, oh god, it's so perfect.
Can you do that?
Don't forget my Swedish chef. Don't forget my
Swedish chef, yeah.
Pork. What do you think, Arnold? This is fake news. This is propaganda. It's like Austria's in the World War II.
Because Arnold took his heat too. What was it? The Nanny? No, it wasn't the Nanny. It was the
Nanny. Yes.
Oh, was it the Nanny? It was the Nanny. Yeah.
The boobies were too big. I couldn't resist. I couldn't.
Right.
Feels, when you're in the midst of a set and you start feeling that blood fill up in the muscles, so like in your
rush.
body. Yeah. Right, that rush. Yeah. And he goes, it feels as satisfying to me as coming does, coming. Swear to God. And he goes on, he's like, can you imagine how much I am in heaven It's like, I'm getting the feeling of coming at the gym, I'm getting the feeling of coming at home, I'm getting the feeling of coming
and going and coming some more.
Coming on stage when I'm posing. I'm coming day and night.
I'm always changing my panties.
No, I swear to God, it's an actual quote.
No, but I'm just riffing on what you said, man.
Yes, I know you would get that reference. To the moon!
In black and white. I know you kids have never seen black and white, but in black and white, baby.
I don't know. Wiener might be out of prison by then. Like, what's his sentence? Like a year or two? So he might be out of prison by, the 2020 election. So I can see a wiener holder for president.
Take it.
Better quality of life, and I'm all about quality of life.
Yeah, man, I know it's very important. Well, I guess we'll end it there, man.
Pull a plug, man.
Yeah, it's 6:45 over here, brother. I feel like I could stay up. I could just go on no sleep, but
It's it's time for me to like put on the tea kettle, man.
Put on the tea kettle. Yeah, man. Same here. Well,
nice chatting with you, Christian.
Yeah, same here, brother. Thank you for coming in and sharing your thoughts, opinions, and ideas, man. I appreciate it, brother.
No, we're gonna get through this, man. We're gonna work through this. We're not gonna let this die. We're gonna use this technology. I'm thinking though that maybe Mr. Pi is gonna try and do something to us come December 18th. But we'll have to, even if he does, we'll have to figure out ways to stay in touch.
Yeah, I'm sure we will, man. If anything, but hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep you apprised of what I'm doing, sir.
Thank you, man. I know. I'm
not going to call you Mister anymore.
Yeah, Christian, man. Just Christian.
I know.
Yeah. My dad.
I know. No, your dad would say, "Son, there's only one Mister in this family."
I wouldn't say that, but
I'm just saying, yeah, from any kind of a joking perspective. Yeah. There's only one Mister in this family, son. I could just see, some silly ass person, in a Hollywood movie somewhere saying that to his kid, his kid's going.
There's only one father in the Mister in this family, son.
Fuck you, Dad. You wait till I become bigger than you.
Mm-hmm.
The way of life, man.
Yes. It's been tech. It's been wonderful. It's been luxurious, magnificent, fabulous. Any other four-syllable word I can think of right now. But
oh my God, Christian, you've gotten my nipples hard. Oh my God.
Listen, this is Al Gore with a public service announcement. Beware of the one who is half man, half bear, and half pig. I'm talking, of course, about man, bear, pig.
And don't put it in your lockbox.
Don't put it in your lockbox. I'm super duper surreal. All right, man. Good night, brother. I gotta go to sleep.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks for coming, man. Good night. Sleep well.
Oh my God. Oh my God. No, I completely agree with you on alcohol. I agree. And this is somebody that you're talking to hasn't really had an alcohol problem, but I've been a lifelong alcohol drinker. I still am. I still like drinking alcohol. But I think
it'd be funny if we started a podcast called Tech Moves Tries Pot again after 30 years.
Well, it could.
It's just because I bet you'd say some funny things, some silly things if you're smoking, and then you just
some people in this world, and you don't know me well enough yet, but some of these people, some of my friends, my old friends, and my family, they actually think I'm pretty funny. But on the other hand, it's like, I don't want to be preachy, man. There's no way for me to be preachy. I mean, man, life is too beautiful and too wonderful, you know.
Weaver's Co-op expanded, so they're in several other places in the city.
What we've ended up with here is the chains, you know, the Amazon effect, where we've got like a local company, and then these fuckers come in, buy them out, you know, they want that revenue stream, and then they corporatize the stuff. I know Kroger is really big back east. Well, we had this perfectly fine company in Oregon that was paying good taxes. Kroger comes in, buys Fred Meyer, you know, and then changes my freaking Fred Meyer all the way around. And now I'm forced to eat Kroger brands. I don't want to eat Kroger brands. And if you guys, if you guys saw my waistline, you'd know that probably my number one issue is food.
Are all you fascists?
Well, I mean, we're talking. Okay, yeah, anti-fascism.
Are you against fascism?
Okay, yeah.
Yes, then you are Antifa. The degree of which you take that is up for debate. No, like, do I agree with some of the extreme measures that some of them take? Absolutely not. Am I against fascism? Absolutely.
I mean, like, the Democratic Party calls me.
Anybody can co-opt a word. Any person.
Yes. Anybody can co-opt a bunch of idiots.
But the words too, Kevin, the words get co-opted. They get diluted. That's what, that was what 1984 was all about.
Yeah.
Censorship, propaganda. That's why everybody's not a big fan of Edward Bernays, or at least that's my take. That's the thing that we're talking about, because I just thought about it and couched it. I want to couch it in a different term and say we're providing mental health for a lot of our disaffected folks.
Yeah,
that's mental health when they can come on here and vent like that.
Oh yeah.
And those two guys, I'm thinking about it in terms of we need to grow this organization. We need to grow this so we have a complete list of active activists that are out there. If we can get those guys more involved, so they're coming in on a regular basis, we get their updates, we get their information. Boy, we get a bunch of people in Manhattan, or we get a bunch of people in Florida. New York State is huge.
Get them on the right team. Get them on the right team.
Get them on our team. We are the right team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, I'll give you this land. What if the government's the people? It's your neighbors. It's your friends. I don't understand. Fuck the government. I don't understand that sentiment. I don't like that sentiment of fuck the government. The government is the people all around you.
Yeah, the government is us.
I hate
you guys are communists.
You goddamn right, I'm a communist, Nash.
The problem isn't the taxes. It's where the money's going. That's the problem.
And it's who it's directed at, guys, because there's this huge label out there, and I think most people, at least working men and women, would agree with this. We're wage slaves. We're called wage slaves, but as part of that rubric, under wage slaves, we pay the vast, great majority of all those taxes. Now, there are regressive taxes, and there are other taxes that might not be so regressive. We want to have a tax discussion. We really probably should have a tax discussion, because are we being served by these taxes? Probably not. Maybe we are. But if these are our issues, we have to be more involved, more vigilant, to make sure that these taxes are going for things not like the military-industrial complex.
That's where it's going.
Goes towards. Why can't we?
All right, so I want to ask you guys a funny question. All right.
Anyway,
so
is it a joke or a funny question?
Well,
I'm kidding. Just go ahead.
It's both.
Jay Frankie. Hey, Jay Frankie, how you doing, man? Can you hear me okay?
Hi, James.
Is this techmove?
I could change the name, but it's so damn hard on Google to make any changes like that.
Yeah, it's not a good time for that, dude. That was bullshit. The Jay Frankie thing, not cool. No, that wasn't cool. No. Shit. This is a quick video for somebody I have a lot of respect for, and I made a serious mistake last night because I thought he was joking about either Snicker Penis or somebody else, trolling right after I did the MLK thing, which I didn't think was appropriate. But I forgot his name, his real name. I know him by techmove. But Jay Frankie, I just didn't click in my head. I pulled a total Joey. Maybe I'm just getting senile. But this is for techmove. I'm sorry, bro. I really am. I totally didn't think correctly and I misunderstood what was going on, and I put the wrong name in the wrong place. Anyway, it was wrong. It was stupid, and I apologize. So, seriously, bro, I am very sorry that happened, and that's all.
Let me run this one by it, because this I'm still getting yours just fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I see yours. I just haven't. I'm basically on vacation, so, and I'm with my sister, so socializing, with them, and so that's why I effectively last week or so I haven't been around too much. Been socializing with them. Anyway, my point was, when I hear Jimmy Dore talking about his demonetization, at the end of most of his videos, he's always saying, check the bell, make sure you check the bell on YouTube. And if you do, and you're good about it, you usually get the updates. I haven't really had a problem with updates. So that's just me, though.
Hello, everyone. About the title, we lost a good person. This morning, I woke up and I saw that Iban had uploaded a video, 10-minute long video talking about how our tech move, Mr. Jay Frankie, that happened. And apparently Ryan, that we know, has been in contact to help pay off the funeral. And so I just wanted to come on here for a quick second and just pay my respects quickly. More, or better off saying, I'm inviting everyone that has been a part of our group, everybody, Iban, James, Dave, Fly, Ryan, of course, Stevie, Amanda, Garnome, everybody to, hey, Shirley, you too, Shirley, Dominic, Eric, Chad. I'm going to be hosting a special or maybe tomorrow night, depending on how the day goes today. A as you guys may know, I'm on my way to New York City today for New York City action for Julian Assange. But anyway, yeah, guys, anybody and everybody's invited to come pay respects to Jay, who will surely be missed. And just before I go, I just want to say, Jay, if you're listening to this man somehow, some way, I love you, dude. All the moments you spent with us, and we're gonna miss you, buddy. All right, I'll see you guys later on tonight or tomorrow night.
Okay, I just wanted to share that with you, and if you guys want to give your thoughts, I'm gonna drop off. I'll handle stuff on the Zoom side. Go on and take it away, Christian, and thank you, Jay's family, for being here. And make sure to let us know how we can contribute. I had trouble with the Facebook to PayPal, but
I'll try and get you through Twitter.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Yvonne.
Thank you.
Christian, you're muted.
Sorry, guys. As I was just saying, thanks, Yvonne, for the video. So now we're going to open it up for people to speak and pay their respects to Jay. But of course, I want to defer to Jay's family first and have them speak. So whoever wants to speak first, Nancy, Lee, Ira, anybody, Jill, the other Nancy, whichever one of you would like to speak first, you have the floor. Speak for as long as you want.
Did you want us to speak first?
Yeah, if whoever from Jay's family would like to speak, whether it's you ladies or Ira or Nancy, whoever.
I said this earlier with Yvonne, but I was not aware of this virtual community that Jay had. Mm-hmm. And there were times when I wondered how he was doing, because he was not really out much in the public, and he didn't really have a lot of friends that he would go and visit or interact with. And so when I found out about your community, I was shocked, and I just did not know the extent of friends that he really has. And so I appreciate the video that was just shown. It was great to hear him laugh again. He was just that guy that you guys were interacting with. He was talked really a lot about politics, music, and he was very reflective at times about when he grew up. He was born in, okay, I think I can get this right, 1957. He was my older brother. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, he grew up in late 50s, 60s, and, up, and did a lot of thinking about the establishment and what he would like to change and the kind of world that he wanted to live in. I think it's fantastic to me that he was able to find his voice and the community that he could really relate to. So for that, I am very thankful, and I appreciate this memorial that you're doing for him.
Absolutely. It's nice to know that we were not the only ones that had lovely, in-depth, lengthy political conversations with Jay. And I think it's wonderful that he had such a supportive group of friends that he could connect with all the time. It's very comforting to know that he wasn't just staring at that computer screen and twiddling his thumbs in the process, or checking out the pinups, which he might have been anyway. I don't know.
I think he was more comfortable when he could just be in his boxers and nothing else, and just hanging out with whatever drink he wanted and his munchies, and he was there. He was able to do that for hours, or however much he wanted, because that was his real world for him. And I appreciate that, because family really couldn't sometimes reach him where he really, what he really valued and where he wanted to live. So again, it's just wonderful to hear about his community.
Thank you, ladies. So Nancy, Miss Nancy Mowry, if you want to speak next, or if Lee, would you like to speak next?
Sure. We had the privilege of having Jay come and spend time with us a couple times within this last year. He was here for Christmas and celebrated the holidays with us, and then came again here just in August, the early part of August. We really enjoyed his company. We loved having him here with us. We loved his character, his laugh, his willingness to just get out and help everybody. He had met several people here in our little town here in Mount Vernon. He was good friends with a man named Steve Lamb, and just became so close. They were like brothers. We always talked about music when he was here, and talked about family, talked about friends, and how much his friends and his family meant to him. We really appreciate, the things that he was sharing with us in terms of Christian. I'm sorry, I'm not sure of all of your names, but he did speak with us about you all and told us how much he appreciated you. I was with Jay when he passed, and it happened real suddenly. It was a big surprise to all of us. My husband and I were here with him, and I just wanted to make sure that Jay knew he was not alone. That was the biggest thing for me. Ari, you want to? Again, we really appreciate, family, friends, everything that people are doing for Jay.
Hi, I'm Nancy's husband, Ira. I didn't really know Jay much until the last couple of years, and we had him come out here, like Nancy said, a couple times, and we got to have some very animated conversations. He's very opinionated. I tend to be very opinionated. We had some real good conversations. It was nice to see the video, because we had some of those same conversations when he was here. He spoke about you folks. So it's nice to be able to put faces with some of the names that he mentioned to me. And like Nancy said, we were with him when he passed, and it was a really tough day. During the week he was, the 3 weeks he was here, it just seemed different than last Christmas. He didn't seem as energetic, and he wasn't eating well, so we both, Nancy and I, were kind of worried about him anyway. But his presence on your forum, and his presence and his opinions. We're so glad that they mattered, that you guys took him to heart and listened and had a kinship with him. So we just are grateful for this whole time to be able to share. Thank you.
Oh, we're very glad that you guys are here to share with us as well.
Lee can hear everything that we're saying, and he can also see it, but he's not able to interact. My brother Lee.
Okay. Yeah, well, I was just about to ask if he would like to speak next, but yeah. If whoever would like to speak next among Jay's friends, either Dominic, Yvonne, Dave, who was just in here before, I don't know where he went. We have somebody else in here. Hello, 631. Who is this? Hello, 631. Can you hear us? Oh, I guess, all right. Yeah, so Dominic, I guess if you want to speak next, brother, the floor is yours.
I really didn't know Jay that well, just from one after hours with the gang. I didn't even know, was he sick or, I didn't know, it was really a shock when I got your message, Christian, that he was gone, and he just seemed like a healthy guy. He didn't seem like anything was wrong with him when we were talking or anything.
He had had problems with his heart, and he had a really bad incident in 2013. And after that time, that's when he found your community. He chose to live his life the way he wanted to and make his medical decisions the way he wanted to. So he chose some avenues where he didn't want invasive treatment. And so Nancy might be able to tell you more, but his heart gave out in the end.
How old was he?
61. He was 61 years old.
Jesus.
He was, just such an easygoing guy. You never know he had any problems.
So young.
He always used to send them DMs, and it sounded like Q, some of the way he would put the words together sometime. I told him one time, hey, Q?
Well, I can tell you, when he was here, he continually told me that he had a summer cold and not to worry about him. He continually said, that he did not have any kind of chest pain, no pressure, no problems. He just was not very hungry. He didn't have much of an appetite. So he was the type of person who didn't want his friends and his family to worry about him too much. He kept things real close to his vest, at least when he was here. And he just always wanted to be with friends and family and have a good time and be outside enjoying himself and, just talking and sharing. And he loved, like I said, talking about music and politics. And that's what he pretty much did the entire time he was here with us.
So for those who I've just joined, I'm Ryan. I live in Australia, and Jay and I spent many hours just going over things of the world, what's happening in our lives and stuff like that. I was really shocked when I saw the message on Facebook. I was like, hang on, he's supposed to be enjoying a holiday right now. He's not supposed to have died. He's supposed to be hanging out with his family. So yeah. I'm gonna miss the now, Ryan, can you tell me this? That was his little catchphrase. So, Ryan, can you tell me this? And he'd ask 1,001 questions about Australia, politics, animals, music, you name it, he'd ask it. So, yeah, Jay and I got on like a house on fire. So, yeah.
Well, I got to say, and this is Dave, Independent Outsider, real quick. He was a positive force in the group, and I hope you guys know that. And he was a good guy and all that. Like anybody, he could kind of catch people at the wrong time with some of his jokes or whatever. But his thing with me is, what are we going to do to move forward?
Yeah.
And that was we have to do something to move forward. He was always about moving forward. I had no idea that he wasn't feeling well, or I don't know what happened. But I hope that he was with family and friends when it happened. But he was a positive force, and just wanted people to know that. So,
and he was always the mediator. If we needed a mediator in the group, he would be the mediator, and he'd be really fair and let everybody have their say. And that's the one thing that I remember, like early on when I first started chatting with these guys, was him always not having to be, but always taking on that role of okay, you're next, and he wouldn't miss anyone. You know what I mean? I don't know if he wrote it down or what, but he gave everybody their minute and a half or whatever he allowed them, and yeah, it was really good.
So Kelly Lane is also here. Kelly, you want to say a few words for Jay?
Yeah, hi. I just learned on Saturday night. I'm just really sad. And I think it's a good lesson to all of us to, cherish who you have. Sometimes I don't want to say don't notice, but sometimes the least boisterous of us that are kind of always there being just kind. I don't want to say go unnoticed, because he definitely wasn't unnoticed. But he didn't make a big, I don't know. He would message me occasionally. Actually, he just messaged me. I found in my on Twitter messages in July, it was something about the Unity for Assange vigil, and he would just periodically, every once in a while, just ask me a question. Just like if he thought it was something I talked about, it's like he cataloged all this stuff in his head and knew who would want to talk about this topic or that topic, and he was just a really sweet person. I'm just really sad to hear. I'm glad he, doesn't sound like he suffered, but we're all just gonna miss having him around. Just a damn nice guy.
Yeah, he was the least aggressive person out of everyone. I mean, even when James kicked him out. Who's this Jay Frankie dude? He's a troll. Kicked him out. It's like, what the hell? He didn't get upset. James explained himself, and that was it. So, yeah, he didn't hold any grudges against anyone. So, probably one of the better chatters that we've got. Commentators, contributors. So,
yeah, and I think this group, maybe we're all to some of our families and to neighbors or whoever in our quote unquote real life, we just go on about this stuff too much. But I think, I'm not on here a lot anymore, but I blogged many hours, including with Jay. And I think here, he found a place everyone wanted to talk as long as he did about it. all, and that's just really cool. I think he was more shy. I remember at the beginning he didn't come on with video at all. He was one that didn't early on. I don't remember when that was.
A hamburger box in your car.
And then later he did come on with video. So
yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry for your loss to his family. Well, I'm just glad I got to know him. He was just a really sweet person and very smart. I had a lot of information in that head.
Yeah. So I want to ask a question for everybody that interacted with him online. What was, if you had to pick one moment that really encapsulated Jay, or that one moment that sticks out the most in your mind when you remember Jay, what was it?
Just his like cool, easygoing nature. You know what I mean? He could, if he disagreed with something someone had said, he wouldn't get angry. He wouldn't yell. He wouldn't scream. He would just wait his turn. I mean, he's probably the ideal contributor. You know what I mean? He was patient with people. Even when people were really upsetting him in regards to yammering on and carrying on, you know, he had the ability to interrupt someone and not upset them at the same time, you know, and that's a skill that a lot of people don't have, you know. Yeah, that's just his kindness as well. He was just a cool dude. Probably, yeah, I wish I had got to know him personally. So it's a bit hard being halfway around the world, but, you know, we had a lot of chats that weren't recorded. So he when he was having hard times and stuff like that, you know, and he was up at, you know, 4 o'clock in the morning just dealing with life, you know. It would be, 6:30 over here, 5 o'clock at night, and we would sit on Zoom for a couple of hours just chewing the fat. So yeah.
Yeah, I think also he had so much to say, but he had a way of making everyone feel like their opinion was and their thoughts were important too. He'd kind of pull it out of you. You know?
And even if you disagreed with him wholeheartedly, like 100% disagreed with him, told him he was wrong and stuff like that, he would just accept it. It's like, yeah, okay, you think I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. Let's move on. Or he would go, well, why am I wrong? Tell me why I'm wrong. Ryan, tell me this. I was like, okay, here we go. So, yeah.
And so we just had Eric and Snork join in. Guys, we were just talking about, you know, Jay. I just asked everybody to give us their favorite moment or the moment that sticks out in their head from their interactions with Jay online. So either Eric or you, Mitch, if either one of you guys want to take a few minutes or so, or however long you guys want to, you know, talk about Jay and all the good memories you have of him and how you remember him.
Just before he went on his trip, there was a night where we were discussing the music groups we listened to. So he had a bunch of eclectic groups that he listened to. The one that he said was his favorite was Hoover Phonic, a Belgian group. And so I happened to know another group that had a singer from that group. So we were like trading off our different obscure groups that we followed. And I know he was looking forward to when he came back. He said he wanted to go check out these other bands.
He was just a wealth of knowledge as well. Like with music, you know, you could talk. I remember what it was on James. Was it on James's channel? I think it was on James's channel, where all they did for would have been, 3-4 hours. It's just talk music, like non-stop. Oh my God, 1970s, 80s, 90s music. And he knew nearly everything. Someone would sing a line of a song and he'd go, yeah, that's this. I'm just like, dude, that's crazy. So he did love his music.
All right, so Eric, you haven't had a chance to speak yet, buddy. So go ahead.
Hi. When techmove Jay Frankie came on, he was really, really a nice, sweet, kind person that always came on, always lighten up the conversation. Although with the conversations that that we had, that before Jay came on, we're tense and real issues, and just came on with something always something interesting to say. He was really, really. He was really, really kind, and he was really awesome, and I'm really, really going to miss him. There was this one conversation, I don't remember when, but he did come on. I do remember this by heart because he was talking from his heart. Like he told us, how much he meant to us, and he thanked us, and he actually did cry. It does really mean a lot to me that someone, would come on, talk to us, actually have a real conversation. And that's what I'm really, really going to miss about Jay Frankie. He was really, really a sweet guy, and I'm really going to miss him a lot. And when I found out, about it, I was really heartbroken.
So
thank you again for having this virtual, Christian. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you,
Thanks,
Jay's
Christian.
family, for coming on. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
In all the conversations that I had with him, and I had hours and hours and hours of conversations with Jay. His probably biggest regret is that he wasn't as close as he wanted to be with his daughter. Okay, that was his biggest wish, was to get closer to his daughter. So he never really went into the intricacies of what happened in his relationship with his daughter. But yeah, that his daughter played a really big part of his thought process. And then when he told me he was going to visit the family, go on holidays, I mean, he couldn't be any happier. He was probably the happiest I'd seen him in a long time. So, yeah, it's like, I'm going to go visit the family, and we're going to do this, and we're going to go out, and we're going to have fun, and all this other type of stuff. And I have no sad times. It's all going to be fun times, and get to really get close with my family. And I hope that he was able to achieve that.
Yeah, I accidentally banned him once. We know him as techmove.
Yeah.
So I came in late one night, and I've got what they call a wrench, the ability to ban somebody that's causing a problem in the chat. And I came on. Of course, like I said, we knew him as techmove. And somebody goes, "We got a troll, ban the troll." So I see one name I didn't know. He signed on as Jay Frankie, and I just, there's the new guy.
I think we all did that because he went from techmove to Jay Frankie, then back to techmove, because we all thought that Jay Frankie was a troll, and it's like everybody's just like banned him from everything, and it's just like, oh. And then we start getting messages through Twitter saying, "How come you all banned me?" Yeah, it's like, Jay Frankie is the same person as Tech. Okay, so yeah, we had to put the two together. Yeah, yeah. So he did have a rough time going from his real name to his online name to his real name, then back to his online name. So, yeah. He just didn't know what to say when he was getting banned for all this. He's just like, what's going on? What did I do wrong? It's like, we didn't ban you, dude. You haven't been on. And he goes, yes, I have. I've been on. And you've all banned me. It's like, who? You haven't been on. And he goes, Jay Frankie is me. It's like, okay, we get you. So, and then we had a really good laugh about it. So, yeah. It was.
We have some of his archives here.
Yes.
And I believe Ben also has some other ones.
So
if you guys need any access.
Yeah. On my channel, I will go through and try and tag, put in or take the video, like copy the video and then put the tech move so you can have a listen about what he was saying. But yeah, I'll go through that. I've got hundreds and hundreds of videos to go through to get the snippets of him. So I will do that. I will go through all my videos and try and find him in there. So
I would really appreciate that, Ryan.
Yeah. It's the least we can do.
Yeah.
As we say in Australia, he was a top bloke. He was a top bloke. So
yeah.
It doesn't.
I want to go back to the family for a second. While we wait for, I think we have like one more person who over there coming to give their respects. So the family, can you tell us like any like funny stories or memorable moments you had with Jay that you were lucky enough to be there with him and just to witness? So anything funny or just noteworthy when you think of all the time you spent with him and how you remember him?
Well, I'll chime in because Jay lived with Jill and I several times. We all lived together, and one of the most enjoyable things was playing pinochle with Jay, because he was absolutely ruthless, and he was cutthroat with pinochle and cribbage, by the way. And we would always tease him and say that he was channeling his father, Howard, because he was just as cutthroat, and that's where Jay learned to play. So we spent hundreds of hours over the past 20-some years playing cards and listening to music and talking politics. But what comes to mind is the fun with playing cards with him.
I believe that I'm not sure how long ago this was, but I was playing cribbage with him, and he had a perfect game, perfect score, and first time in his life. And so that night, I actually sent them out, Nancy and Jay, out to buy some lottery tickets, because I thought that if he was that hot, that he was going to win the lottery. Yeah. Every holiday dinner that we were able to share with him, it was like an event, because he would come with all the different topics that he wanted to talk about. And everyone around the table, all the family and friends around the table, knew what he was like and knew that he loved to talk. And so there he was, and covered all of the politics, the music, everything that was valuable to him. And he'd have his plate of food, and every time that he had a meal with us, his food would go cold, and he'd have to eat anything. What he was interested in was the main event, which was talking about everything he loved.
I used to tease him and say, "Don't you eat? What? You just dine." It would take him, and you guys online wouldn't know it, but it would take him probably 2.5, 3 hours to finish a meal that all of us had eaten in 20 minutes.
Damn.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But he kept after those mashed potatoes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Mashed potatoes are really good.
Oh yeah. So I'm just looking back at my very first video, and he's the second person that jumped on my live stream. Second person
ever.
So he's on the very first video. So if you just look up my name, Ryan Bannock, in YouTube, it will come up with Ryan the Australian. And you can, he's in the very first. So he's on the very first video, which is the last video when you go and look at all the videos and stuff. So, but I will go through and look for more. But he never really showed his face, you know. He was very, I don't know, he was hiding from something. So, I don't know what, but no, it was good.
He also loved his nieces and nephews. And when he would talk with them, he made sure that they had the right music information, what to listen to, and he straightened them out on the politics end.
Absolutely.
He wanted to make sure that they knew about the establishment, and he wanted to hear their thoughts, but more he wanted to educate them about the right, what was right.
The phrase he always used was critical thinker. You guys got to be critical thinkers when you grow up. You can't go along for the ride. You got to be critical thinkers. That's why I'm here, to teach you how to do that. Yeah. And he did.
He had some great times though with Emily as well.
Mm-hmm.
Holidays with her.
Or dance recitals.
Yeah. So they were in each other's lives, but the way that they wanted it.
We're not quite, but
the way they could both deal with each other, and his big personality.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff that you guys are sharing with us, we definitely can relate to, just by Jay's personality and all the interactions that we were lucky enough to have with the men. So I guess while we wait, I'll say a few things about Jay. Jay was, from all the times that I've seen him and all the times that I got to interact with him, he was always in a good mood. Always in a good mood. Always came on and was always just a second away to laugh. And his laugh was just infectious. It was just one of those laughs that you hear it and you can be having the crummiest day, you can be having the crappiest day in your entire life, and you hear his laugh and you just can't help but at least smile, if not crack up with him. And as was stated by a lot of people here already, he was the inquisitor. He was such a curious man. He had such a really vivid
thirst for knowledge.
Yes, thirst for knowledge. Thank you, Ryan. He had a real thirst for knowledge that was so it was something to be so lucky to be around with, and combined with his experience and his wisdom, it really made him a great person to have conversations with, whatever it may be, however silly it got, as you ladies saw, or however serious it got. He was there. He was always, up to par for anything. And Jay was eloquent. Jay was silly when he wanted to be. Jay was humorous. Jay was optimistic. I remember a conversation we were having among a group of us. It was like 5 or 6 of us around. I don't know how we got to there, but he was saying something along the lines of, for an old guy like me to see young people like like you guys, like myself, Eric, and a few others, to see you guys, how you guys are critical thinkers, going back to that, it really encourages me and it gives me hope about the future and what, the future holds for all of us. And I think what I'll always remember about him, man, is just all those qualities, and his laugh. His laugh was just so amazing. And when I found out Saturday morning, I was just at a loss for words. Like I couldn't. At first, I didn't believe it, and but yeah, I'm just reflecting on it now. I'm just so thankful that I got to know a person like Jay, and that of all the people we could have chosen to interact with online, that he elected us. He came and he chose to spend time with us, and he was definitely appreciated, and we're gonna miss him. We're really gonna miss him.
Absolutely. Because who am I gonna have to explain stuff to now?
Exactly. He was always he would follow me on Twitter, and he was always, again, like Ryan said, always asking me questions. Oh, Christian, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? Yada yada yada. He was always so, and it was so great to see a person like that, so interested in people and other people. He had this selflessness about him and this patience that was just, it was just incredible to be able to, again, be with a person like that, to know a person like that. We all have people that are, and we have men in our lives that exude qualities opposite of that. They're impatient, they're self-centered. But Jay was just, he was so loose. He was so just all smiles, like, hey man, how you doing? Like, come on, man, don't worry about it. He was so like, he would just have just like a term we youngsters use a lot is chill. He was very just laid back. At the same time, he could just focus in on something like that, like a laser. And yeah, I just remember all the Twitter stuff and all. Every time, it's like, oh, archive. I'm saving this. I'm saving this.
Yeah, I'm saving this.
The archiver.
Yeah,
he was an archiver for sure. Yeah.
Eric is the retweeter in chief, and techmove was the archiver. It was always, where's that link? You got that link? Show us that website. What website's that? It was always like thirst for knowledge, but it wasn't sort of like the usual thirst for knowledge of, okay, they told me this, I'm going to go on the internet and have a look. Someone would say something, and he would ask them their opinion, what they thought, how they felt about the situation. And then if somebody came up with a website, then he would go, oh, can you show me that website? Can you show me, that link or whatever? His thirst for knowledge was unbelievable. So, yeah, I would have loved to have got his reaction on John McCain, but it was something that I am going to miss, because he did have an opinion on a lot of things, and he could carry a conversation like nobody else. His ability to just talk and talk and talk and carry on conversations. You knew if he was online, and I think it was a bit difficult when he was on holidays because there wasn't that person that could carry on a conversation like Jay could. So you sort of were hoping, jump online, dude, jump online, But yeah.
Ryan, you mentioned his knowledge and how he always wanted to try and know more about it, find out, you know, the websites and things. He had a library card that I don't know if it ever went into his wallet because he was always using it. And he had at least 6 books in his apartment at a time. I mean, it was like his go-to. And the kinds of books that he would come up with or find in the library, when I went over to see him, I always looked at his library books to see what he was into. He really educated me and the authors that he liked.
Yeah, the books, because there's a couple of people who are avid readers. I think Rebel was one of them. So Rebel and Jay used to talk about books all the time. So I'm not much of a reader, so I wasn't sort of that kind of way with Jay, but you know, he was always interested. But he was always interested in what's happening in Australia, even though he didn't really know much about Australia. It was like, oh, what's the political scene like there? What's it like to live there? You know, what's the poverty like? You just basically try and extract as much information about Australia from as he could. So it was really good to have someone asking me questions and talking about my country as opposed to always just talking about America. So, and you appreciate that too. You don't take that kind of talk for granted. You know what I mean? Because Julian Assange is Australian, he would always ask, is there a possibility that Australia will step up? And I think we went into hours and hours and hours of conversations about how Australia won't help Julian Assange, how just things about Australia that he didn't know, but once he knew, he could compare it with America, and he'd just soak it up too. And he'd come back 3 weeks later. 3 weeks ago, you were talking about Australia and the Prime Minister, and Prime Minister did this. Did anything come of that type of stuff? He never forgot anything.
Yeah, Jay had an incredible memory. He would do that to all of us. He would just be like, "Oh, I remember when you, James, said this and this. Like, what do you think about this now?" And it just would demonstrate further how much he was paying attention, how much he cared, and how much just time and attention he really did give us. And we, none of us ever got the pleasure to meet him in person, but we could tell right away just from his actions online and our interactions with him online on YouTube that he was a genuine guy. He was a genuine, honest, loving guy. And with a person like that, again, you just can't help but just try to reciprocate in kind and try to give him the same back.
Yeah,
as far as his memory and things, he had a clipboard right next to him, and he had notebooks that he would keep very tedious kinds of notes as far as what he was into, what he had to look up, a music group that he had to find out a song. It was all chronicalized. And I just looked at his things from July, and it was just overwhelming to see movies that he wanted to check out. And it's just kind of like a diary, but it was the way that Jay saw it, but the way that he saw the world and what he wanted and what he was seeking out.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure if he was taking notes when I was talking to him, there will be parts in those books where we do talk about Australia, we talk about Australian music, we talk about Australian movies, we talk about, parts of Australia he should visit when he comes out here, all those types of things. And then it would be like, okay, so when I get to the USA, I've got friends in Seattle, but I'm going to come to Portland and to Oregon and make sure I see Jay and all that type of stuff. We talk about that all the time. Thinking that you've got 20 years to organize all that type of stuff, you know what I mean? And then to see the message on Facebook to say that he had passed away, it was just like, well, damn. You know, one of your good friends, even though you're not you've never met each other, one of your good friends, somebody you consider a really good friend, is no longer there. So it's just depressing.
It was so sudden, like, you know, a lot of us have said already, none of us were expecting when like, I had no idea Jay was suffering from anything or he was in ill health. And I'd been thinking about him, you know, that the week prior, and just reflecting on all the moments I had with him and how I was missing the guy. I was missing, again, his laugh. I was missing his spirit, his uplifting spirit. Because, you know, there are times when, you know, everybody can relate. There are times when you're down, you know, everybody has bad days. And Jay was one of those people that I would think about to help me, you know, get out of my rut, so to speak, and, you know, look on the brighter side of things and continue on my day in a more positive light. Because I know that if he were, I just get the feeling if he were there with me, if he were here with me, he would be like, you know, Christian, it's okay, man. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. You know, he was that kind of guy. At least he gave me that impression, that he was one of those guys that would always have your back, especially if he really cared about you. And that is something that is truly to be treasured. And I did. I certainly did. And that's what I call in those moments.
That's one of his other little phrases that he has. It'll be okay, man.
Yeah.
It'll be okay, man. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. So, all right. I've got to head out. I've got some legal stuff I need to deal with after today. It was nice chatting to everyone. I will get together and I will put a compilation together of some of the stuff that we talked about. If we can, if there's that PayPal, I'd like to contribute. If we can get that up and running. So it was nice chatting to you all. Probably not the best circumstances of meeting everybody, but yeah, just let you know that he did play. I have my own personal mental health problems and stuff like that, and Jay did help me through some really dark times. So he not, I guess in some stage he did save my life, because I was really, really dark. So I just want to let you all know that he was a shining light to a lot of people, and he will be sadly missed. Very, very sadly missed.
Thank you, Ryan.
We need to find out which show had the music night. That's
yes.
We should get to him.
Well, I'm pretty sure it would have got thingoed, copyrighted. So it was on James's show, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Love you all.
Love you too, Ryan. Take care.
See you. Goodbye.
Bye,
Take care, brother. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, so we're waiting for at least one more person. Well, we got Rainbow Boom in here. Rainbow, do you want to just share your thoughts on some of your finer memories about Jay, you know, funny moments, things that stick out when you think about Jay and all the times that he's been on with us, Like, what would you like to share with us?
He was a great man.
Mm-hmm.
And do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
He was a great man. He brought a lot of information to us.
What would you like?
He will be missed for that. He will be missed.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Shirley.
Hey, Shirley.
Girl.
Good to have you.
I was just so sad to hear this because a couple of days before he passed, he had DM'd me, but I was busy and I couldn't come on with him because I normally talk to him. But him and Ben on Zoom, and it was just shocking to hear that this happened. And I just love talking to him about music and everything like that, and politics, and also just talking to him. He's just a nice person. He always stayed calm, cool, and collected. Had lots of information. I'm really gonna miss his laugh though.
True.
Yeah, so Shirley and Rainbow, is there a specific moment that sticks out when you think about Jay?
Only thing I can say, he was just cool, calm, and collective, and he loved music, and I do too. I love music, and he would DM me with a video, and I'm like, well, what is this? This look like back in the '60s or something. So I go look at the video. I'm like, wow, I heard this song. And I DM him back. I'm like, hey, I remember that song.
He really did love his music, big time.
Yeah,
he did. He definitely did. Yeah. Well, if nobody wants to say anything else, we'll draw this to a close. Well, I know, Iban, if you want to come on for a quick second and say a few things before we head out. I don't think anybody else is going to come.
What happened to Garden?
Oh, I don't know. He hasn't. He doesn't have a Twitter anymore. He had deleted his Twitter account, so I couldn't get in touch with him. So, Iban, if you want to say a few things for Jay before we leave.
Right,
sir.
One of the things that I feel sorry about is the first time he showed up, because he showed up without a shirt and he was hairy all over, and he didn't say a word, and I laughed, and yeah, I feel bad for that. It's just, I'll laugh when like I'll see James without his shirt on. I laugh the same way, but he took it the wrong way, and he didn't show up until like 5 months later. And he had a shirt on, but he didn't say one word until really late in that show. It's maybe like 2 or 3 hours later. And then he started to warm up to us. He would come on and not show his camera. Every once in a while he'll show up and we'll see him in person with just how he looks, and he usually have a huge mustache and beard covered up. And then it was maybe a month or two ago, he shaved, and we actually saw him on camera. I've been trying to find the video, but I couldn't find it. If I do, I'll show it. And we're like, oh my goodness, you shaved your hair. You have less hair than I have, because I had a huge beard and long hair. And he looked young. I wouldn't know that he was like 61. We thought he was maybe like 45, 50. He looked really young, and it is surprising to know that he passed away, and because he looked good to us when we saw him. And I think, yeah, just funny situations with Techmove. He's always laughing. His laugh I wish I could mimic it. No one can mimic it. It's just that almost like a cackle. And the best moment was when he would come on James's channel on his show, and James, he has his joy moments from Friends. That's how he calls it, and you can see the video, and he's like, "Techmove, is that you?" And for some reason, it clicked on him. It's like, "Hey, this might be a troll," because we've had trolls come on and put up videos that were very like not very good. But so he booted him immediately, and that was the whole situation. And then everyone realized that that was him, and James was just so sorry. He did the personal video, and just the thought of that, the whole situation. Jay is a person who just he doesn't really take it personally. He just wants to know what the heck just happened. And he would come on, and when he really warms up to you and like the group and bunch of people, he just lets it go. It's like he doesn't hold back, and that's what I liked about him. He wasn't afraid. He's been an activist for a long time. I disagreed with him a lot. I disagree with a lot of people. We disagree with each other quite often, but he would still come on and talk. It doesn't matter how much he disagreed with you. He'll come on and talk with you. And that's really hard. Not many people do that. Not many people at all.
Well, if it tells you any more about him, he was on the no-fly list, and
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and he was pretty into it, kind of into the thick of anti-establishment. So he put in his time, and he did his good in the community and made sure that there was a voice, that his voice was being heard, and that people knew that society was not just what it appeared to be, but that there's a whole different kind of a society that was existent and really needed to come out and take its place and deal with what was going on in what we know the real world. So he's been that way since he was in his 20s, smoking weed and just hanging out, and he was a vegetarian at that point in time. So great memories.
Yeah. And I'm just glad so many people showed up, and yeah, I mean, he didn't really ask for anything. He told us his situation a lot, and he's like, yeah, I'm getting into it, and I'm figuring things out. It's kind of like starting from scratch. But he would never ask us for anything. He was good. He was good on his own, and he's pretty brave. I mean, not many people show their faces, show their names, and comes on to talk about the things that we talk about. And there's not many brave people out there as well that will do that, because just so much negativity, a lot of threats, a lot of just people will disagree and they'll be angry. But he'll deflect that anger. That was so good of him.
Yeah, again, Jay was always just so happy-go-lucky. I mean, like Ruban was saying, he would disagree with us, on stuff, but he would still be like, "Hey, man, it's all good, no worries," and we just continue the conversation from there. He was just so open and so willing to listen, and that's just such a really admirable trait. That's something that I kind of learned from him, just from listening to him and watching him, just how well he listens and how patient he is and how giving he is.
And just so you know, I'll compile just a list of places to go. So if you wanted to, you can go and search for the videos. You'll have to search through a lot because he was in off and on. Sometimes he wouldn't come on, but he would just be on live chat. So he would just type away. And a lot of the times we show the live chat. So you can see him typing, even though he's not participating like this in video or just talking. He was in there just typing away and talking to others that were listening and live chatting too. And I mean, I looked through hundreds of videos and just took snippets, and the video collage was what, 28 minutes. So there's like about probably at least 40 hours of him talking and chatting, and there's probably a lot more, but I haven't done the full count. So he's there. We remember him. We will remember him. And when we look through our videos again, just all the memories, and we'll see him and we'll hear him, and you know, it's never he never went off at once. And trust me, I think everyone here has gone off the deep end at least once. But I don't remember Techmove ever doing that, or Jay Frankie. Yeah.
I just really appreciate again what you have done and this side of Jay that I wasn't aware of, and I really appreciate your willingness to share this special time with us as well.
Absolutely. Again, like I told you ladies before we went live, I would want the same thing. You know, the golden rule: treat others how you want to be treated. If, you know, God forbid I passed away, I would hope that, you know, people like you guys will remember me. But yeah, it's Jay was a great friend. He was a great human being, and he's surely gonna be missed. And just before we go off, I just want to maybe take just 30 seconds of silence, just in honor of Jay. So if we could do that just now, guys, just 30 seconds of just silence. Okay, everybody. I want to thank everybody who came on, from Jay's family to all of his friends, Shirley, Rainbow, Eric. Thank you, both Nancy's. Thank you, Jill, Lee, Ira, Snork. Obviously, Bond, thank you for helping me set this up, man. Thank you, Kelly, for coming on before. Thank you, Dave, for coming on before.
Dominic.
Ryan, Dominic, of course. Shirley, thank you. Thank you, sister, for coming. And
you're welcome.
Anytime.
Yeah, guys, it was very nice to meet you. Jill, Nancy Maury, your husband, Ira, Lee. Thank you all for agreeing to come on here and sharing this with us. It means a lot. Just thank you. And with that, let's call it a memoriam.
Thank you.
We love you, Jay. If you're listening to this somehow, somewhere, we love you, man.
We love and dearly miss you, Jay.
Yes, we do.
We really do.
Beautiful memorial. Thanks.